Blackest Night. Willpower. Ring on. Ring activate. Ring save me. Green construct. Attack. Is that close? Is that what Green Lantern's about? Is that what it's? Hello to my 9 beautiful subscribers, my 9 creatures, my family. Today we will be talking. Actually, well, no, we're talking, but like for the first time ever, we will be going on a journey together. We're starting Green Lantern. This is a call to action, so to speak. So basically, let me give a TDLDR. A TLDR. I'm sorry. Okay. So it is September 2025. I started reading comics like maybe at the end of July. And since then, I have read a plethora of Batman comics, a plethora of Superman comics. I have read Wonder Woman and Gods and Mortals. That's the only Wonder Woman comic I've read so far. It's the last comic book I've read, but it's my favorite comic book now, okay? So, gonna read more Wonder Woman for sure. But my main thing right now is I want to go through the whole Justice League. And what I'm coming to realize is like each member of the Justice League kind of represents an entire, like, not ideology, but I'll just say space in the DC. Let me explain. Batman is really just crime, criminology. Why do the criminals do the shit that they do? The way that they think, getting in the head of the criminal, etc. Right? Detective shit, noir. Okay, cool. Superman. Now, Superman, surprisingly, I thought this would be more attributed to Batman, but actually reading it, Superman is really more about the life of a superhero, the balance between superhero and living man. There's also a lot of family elements, Ma Kent, Pa Kent, the super family, Jor-El, etc. Well, I don't want to say that, like, I want to be very clear, because like you can't say like Batman doesn't also cover family. No, Batman does cover family, but I feel like at the core ideology is the Bat family stuff outside of Batman and Robin together. That aspect is very relevant, but I think that has more to do with crime, how you respond to crime and trauma, how different generations see that, how you can help someone that's gone through, like, you see what I'm getting at, whereas Superman, it's more so like specifically the family aspect. Just my perspective. If you disagree, please let me know. I feel you love. Okay, so Wonder Woman. Getting into Wonder Woman, I didn't really know what to expect. I read Gods and Mortals, so I definitely have a skewed perspective, this being my only Wonder Woman story that I've read. But I'm gonna attribute Wonder Woman to like literally the gods of DC. That whole thing, like reading Wonder Woman made me almost forget I'm reading a DC story. It just felt like a book with different Greek elements, gods, etc. It's really interesting. Like the Wonder Woman story, honestly very sad, but written so beautifully that it's not like grim to read, if that makes sense. It's just like, I don't know, it's so good. Go read that. So next we have The Flash, we have Green Lantern, we have, does Cyborg even have comics, bro? Like, what the fuck? Martian Manhunter, again, I don't even think, like, damn, bro. So I said The Flash first, but the reason, as you can see, this video is about Green Lantern is because I kind of know, well, I'm not gonna say I know a lot about The Flash, but growing up, he was one of my favorite heroes, so I passively just know more than I know about Green Lantern. I have a good idea of The Flash and kind of know what I'm getting into with that. But Green Lantern, from what I understand, is such a large scale thing that, similar to Wonder Woman, I feel like can almost be seen as outside of the DCU. It's like, back to attributing everyone to a specific thing. Let's say Flash is like science and a little bit of family, and whatever else comes with the Speed Force shenanigans, I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert on the Flash, but I just have a general idea. Now, for Green Lantern, it's, from what I understand, just purely a space, like, epic thing, I have a general idea of what Blackest Night is, and it sounds very, very interesting, so I would love to just know the lore that builds up to that. And the Green Lantern lore seems deep, all the different rings for different emotions as a concept just seems very, very interesting. The Green Lantern cast, so to speak, also seems very wide. Like, more than anything, even more than Wonder Woman, I feel like Green Lantern kind of exists as its own entity in the Justice League. Space is a very large place, so that is cool to see. All this to say, it is time to start Green Lantern, and I would like to bring you along the journey with me. The first Green Lantern story I'll be starting with is Green Lantern Emerald Dawn. Now, if you think that is a bad story to start with, let me know. That's fine. I don't, I'm gonna read that one first. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm willing to read any Green Lantern story you recommend. If you recommend a string of stories to read, I'll read it. Any of that. If you want to know why I'm starting with Emerald Dawn, it is literally just because I'm curious in seeing every post-Infinite Crisis origin, because when I get into the more modern comics, I want to see what they're more direct directly adapting and what they're moving away from. That's interesting to me. So that's why I start with that. Otherwise, I'm literally willing to read any Green Lantern story, whatever the case is. So yeah, that's all. This was like episode 0, I guess. This is just context of what the series is. I think, what should we call this? Let's read. Now we need something better than that. We can think of a title for this series, but this is episode 0, starting with Emerald Dawn. Ideally, like the whole point of the series really is obviously for people to talk about the comics, like if you know it, but if you have not read whatever it is we're talking about in the given video, come read with us, you know. Well, obviously not with, but you know, read so that for the next video we could talk about what we just read. This is like our book club, basically, our comic book club. Oh, is that the name? Comic book club? We'll see. But yeah, so you know, starting to get into comics can feel overwhelming. It felt like that for me. Not to say that I'm like an expert now or anything. Hell no, but like I feel comfortable enough to like just read whatever, if that makes sense. I think before getting into comics, the only reason it feels overwhelming is because if you've read something like manga or whatever the case is, there's a clear starting point and this is where the story begins. Comics, there's so many iterations, generations, depictions of the same character, so where it's like, where do I start, where do I begin? Come to find out, it doesn't really matter where you start because the continuity isn't that relevant, honestly. Like, it is relevant, but the thing I was saying about the post-crisis stories, I care to see the different depictions of the characters and to know where the modern depictions differ from the older depictions. Because if you know the core ideologies of a character, if you know the original origin of a character, the modern origin of a character, why the characters are doing what they do, then you'll have a better understanding and it's easier for you to jump around to different stories written by different writers, etc. So my advice, I guess, if you're trying to get into comics, is care less about learning like the chronological order of canon, if that makes sense, and pay more attention to characterizations of characters and learning why they do the things that they do. The stories relatively are self-contained unless explicitly stated otherwise. So they, like, not explicitly, but like it's fine to just start reading the comics, okay? It's fine. It's gonna be okay, I promise. Just start. You're stopping yourself. You're holding yourself back. Just start. Okay, PSA over. Emerald Dawn, first comic. I will see you guys in episode 1. Goodbye. This has been doubleCreature. Goodbye.